This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Power bill hike. The NSP rate hearings are over. We break down what it could all mean for you.
Growing success. This hydroponic farm in New Glasgow is offering up food stability and job opportunities.
And want it, a new home for this 15-foot-long toothless dragon.
As the cleanup continues, tomorrow is shaping up to be quite chilly, and if you think that's cold, just wait until the weekend. Your full forecast is just ahead.
Good evening. Last week, the Nova Scotia Energy Board adjourned a public hearing into Nova Scotia Power's rate application, but it will be weeks or more before we know the outcome.
In the meantime, the CBC's Taryn Grant breaks down the hearing and what's at stake for both customers and Nova Scotia Power.
We recently told you this.
Nova Scotia Power wants to increase rates for residential customers by more than 8% over the next year.
The company's message to the public, who are tired of seeing their bills go up, is that Nova Scotia Power needs more money to make their service more reliable. Nova Scotia Power says it has to make close to $2 billion in revenue this year and again next year to operate and make the profit it wants. Residential customers would see the biggest jump. Other commercial and industrial customers would see smaller jumps or lower rates. The Energy Board grilled the company about this, and they also spent some time exploring the idea of using a different calculation that would spread the burden out more evenly. How much profit Nova Scotia Power brings in, specifically its return on equity, is capped in legislation and set by the Energy Board. Right now, it gets a 9% return. A lot of people don't like this, arguing that in spite of the cybersecurity breach that's affecting how the company functions, and in spite of failing performance standards year after year, it still gets to keep a lot of money. One expert consultant brought in by the Energy Board says 7.6% is a more reasonable rate of return. That works out to a difference of about $30 million this year and close to $50 million next year. But Nova Scotia Power argues that experts' calculation was flawed. Right now, Nova Scotia Power's credit rating is not very good, and if it gets downgraded again, then its cost of borrowing goes up. Hitting certain financial metrics would protect or even boost the company's credit rating. And while the company says the proposed rate hikes are not only for this reason, it also says that whatever the board decides in the coming weeks could have an impact on its rating. Another big factor here is the looming deadline to get off coal. Closing coal plants by the end of the decade is proving difficult. Nova Scotia Power says it has a plan that would greatly reduce the burden of these coal plants on ratepayers. It wants to hive off a group of its coal assets from its financial books and issue them as bonds. That's called securitization. The company built this plan into its application, calculating a savings for customers of $85 million over the next 2 years. But it turns out the Premier is not in favor of this arrangement. And it's critical that the government is on board because it would have to back securitization through regulatory change. At the end of the day, most people just care about the number on their power bill. And the Energy Board knows this, and they raised it. They asked the utility about the possibility of bringing in special rates for low-income customers and Mi'kmaq customers. But Nova Scotia Power cannot currently do this unless the province changes the law. And the board cannot reject a rate increase on the basis of affordability. It can go through the company's proposal with a fine-tooth comb to make sure it's just and reasonable. And that is what's happening now, leaving us to wait for a decision on Nova Scotia Power's big ask.
To other news now, one person is dead after a camper trailer fire in Chester Grant. RCMP say the fire broke out at a property on Balsam Drive. Upon arrival, first responders found the camper trailer fully engulfed in flames. After the fire was extinguished, the remains of an adult were located inside. Police say foul play is not suspected. The cause is under investigation.
2 men are now in custody after an emergency alert warning the men were on the run and armed and dangerous in Antigonish County earlier today. RCMP say the pair fled on foot after a traffic stop near Pomket Forks in Hetherington Village Road and abandoned a vehicle. No shots were fired. Police believe they were carrying firearms. Both men were safely arrested a few hours later.
The provincial government has unveiled the latest step intended to help people with disabilities find supportive living in communities as part of the Nova Scotia Human Rights Remedy. The province has launched a home share program that can match people in the disability support program with a provider in their community. The option is included in one of the directions from the remedy, the response to an appeal court decision that found systemic discrimination against people with disabilities seeking housing and supports in the community.
It supports closing institutions because it's another option that will be available to individuals leaving institutions. Traditionally, we've had limited residential options. This is a new option that in other jurisdictions has really met the needs of some individuals. It's not for everybody, but for the people that it works for, it works very well.
Prospective providers must undergo a thorough screening and background check and comprehensive orientation before they can be matched with a participant.
A group concerned about the risks of hydraulic fracturing and development of onshore natural gas is calling on Dalhousie University to release the agreement it signed with the province last month to examine the potential of kickstarting production. The $30 million program will include the development of guidelines and call for proposals from potential proponents. Jonathan Langdon with the Nova Scotia Fracking Resource and Action Coalition says the university has promised transparency, and releasing the full agreement with the government is a step forward towards that.
We're really inviting the university to live by that mantra and let the public know what is this this agreement. What are the guardrails that are in the agreement in terms of what Dalhousie can and can't do? How independent is it?
A spokesperson for the province says the contract is still being finalized and will be made public, but did not provide a timeline for when.
Let's get to the CBC Weather Centre now. Jay Scotland is in for Ryan tonight.
And it sounds like those temperatures are going to take quite a drop.
Yes, yeah. Thank goodness the cleanup continues, folks getting the power back on, because we are looking at very chilly temperatures ahead, not just tonight for your Wednesday. We'll be on the cool side, but as we look ahead to the weekend, and you'll see this coming up a little later in the show in your main forecast, bitterly cold temperatures as Arctic air moves in as we look to your Saturday or Sunday, even into early next week. Today, we did see some localized flurries and more moderate pockets of snow. You can see these wind-driven bands of snow. Still a possibility downwind of the water. We could see some of these isolated snow squalls continue tonight. Even where snow is not falling, we do have a lot of snow on branches as well as down on the ground. So some blowing, some drifting snow is still a possibility tonight, even where the snow is not falling. And that sky, as the flurries should taper off later this evening, should be fairly clear overnight into your Wednesday morning, sorry. Although clouds increase late day, it will be chilly, and we can expect some flurries possibly into the late evening hours on Wednesday night. Tom and Amy?
All right, thanks, Jay. We'll talk a little later.
Thanks, Jay.
An environmental group says thousands of lobster bands are washing up on the province's shores. Scotian Shores, a group based in the Annapolis Valley, says that within the first 2 weeks of the year, they found thousands of rubber bands. The group helped clean up the beach in Scotts Bay on Saturday. The group says the bands were once promoted as biodegradable, but still pose a threat to wildlife. They tell CBC they hope the lobster industry will be able to help minimize the debris.
A hydroponic farm in New Glasgow is growing fresh vegetables year-round to help provide local food security. Summer Street Farm also offers job opportunities, and employees with diverse abilities say they feel good about contributing. The CBC's Ewan Wang took a tour.
Welcome to Summer Street Farm. So this is a controlled environment agriculture facility. This facility is Canada's largest fully wheelchair accessible hydroponics modular farm.
This is the community farm, Farm 1.
Our hydroponics facility specializes in leafies, so lettuce, kale, spinach, and different types of herbs. I think that this is just the beginning of an amazing partnership with the community. Having fresh greens all year round that are grown right here in our community means that people can receive quality, nutrient-dense foods that are not going bad in their fridge. A large portion of what we're growing here is all being donated back to the community through partnerships with the local food bank, the health authority, as well as our local high school has a free lunch program, so we've been really proud to support them as well. And now, we're also selling to our local community, retailers, and that's going to help us become more financially stable and create employment opportunities.
We create opportunities for people with diverse abilities based upon their interests and wishes and wants and skills and strengths. The people that work in the farm are our employees. They're hired as farmers. So they learn the skills of how to work in a hydroponic farm. They are our clients, but they are our employees.
Usually we look for about 5.8 to 5.6, 5.7. Yeah. My name is Brandon Rankin. I'm one of the farmers here. I like doing the harvesting and that, taking the butter head, cutting it up, like taking your hands and like just feeling like all the stuff that I worked really hard on, like all of us here.
Working in agriculture provides a very meaningful type of work. We're serving the community by creating local food and growing that for our neighbors and friends and those we love.
It might be the first time that they've ever had the opportunity to demonstrate their skills and their strengths and feel really good about what they're doing.
I'm Joe Marcotte and I'm one of the farming hands here out of Center Street. Oh, I feel like proud and almost fulfilled. Like I feel like I'm actually doing something for the community and everything. Like I'm doing like matters and stuff.
Food brings us together, and I feel like the opportunity that Summer Street has created here to support a diverse group of people to work in our local food system is incredible. I'd love to see this happen in other places.
Imagine that, people with diverse abilities want to help other people. Wouldn't it be great if we all followed their lead in this world today, you know?
Hoping to keep on doing this for a long time until whenever I want to like retire or something. But like maybe I not want to retire because this is like one of the easiest jobs you can ever have. Knowing that I'm the one that's actually like passing out this like butterhead and like lettuce and all this out to the community, and I like that.
Great idea. All right, a Dartmouth man has had a lot of fun in recent years, upping the ante every Halloween. So naturally, he went all in on crafting this past year's theme.
Based on the film How to Train Your Dragon, he says 500 to 600 children came to visit the centerpiece, a model of the film's main character. Have a look.
Voila. What do we have here?
Well, this is Toothless the Dragon from How to Train Your Dragon. 15 foot long, approximately 7 foot wide, about 4.5 feet tall. I didn't know how to make a dragon when I decided I was going to make a dragon.
What is it about you and Halloween at your home?
For me, it's 100% about the memories. Lots of parents were taking pictures and videos and things like that. Right from the outset, I knew I wanted kids to be able to get on this thing, you know, and ride them. So it's built right into the structure of the head, which is the structure of the head is built right into the body. And I tried to put as much weight back on his tail as possible so that it'd be counterweighted. And reaction-wise, everything from squeals, laughter, tears, everything. I mean, some of it was pretty emotional. One particular child and his mother brought him over from Cow Bay direction on the night. They somehow found out about this, and he apparently gave up his night of trick-or-treating to do this. His mum said, "Oh, you're crying?" And he was crying. She started crying. I mean, I didn't cry, but I was pretty close, I guess, you know. And some kids even forgot to take candy because they're so overwhelmed by this. I don't think that was cheaper for me because these aren't very cheap to do.
No. And now you've put the dragon up for sale. I can't believe you're going to part with the dragon.
Normally I don't get so attached. It's normally a set, but this guy has got a character. But I literally have kids that come, and even parents, come past my house way before this, like in the summertime. You know, what are we building this year? And I have kids that even turn up the following year in what I've made the year before. Wow. So, yeah, it's really, you know, it's a lot.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't want to let them down. So far, somebody has confirmed at $500. I have had a higher offer, but I think they might have been pulling my leg.
What's your day job?
I'm a project manager, working with medical records.
Okay.
So very different from putting together a toothless dragon.
I bet. Well, it's a beautiful look at Carney Lake. Jay's up next with the full weather forecast.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
Jay Scotland back with us now with all the chilly details in your weather forecast tonight.
It sounds like it's just a sample of what's to come for the weekend.
It is, because on paper, the temperatures really don't look that cold for much of the province tomorrow. But when you factor in a brisk wind, wind coming in from the west, it will feel a lot colder. We could be looking at wind chill values, even in the Halifax area, minus 15 to near minus 20 tonight into early tomorrow morning, into early Wednesday morning. And as we look ahead to the afternoon, it does improve a little bit, but we'll still feel quite chilly, below minus 10, factoring in the wind chill for a good chunk of the afternoon. But wait till you see the weekend forecast. What I'm talking about for wind chill values could actually be actual temperatures by the time we get into Saturday and Sunday. And our daytime highs were very misleading today. I thought I'd start with this because it actually, as we saw a bit more snow move back in late last night, we saw temperatures actually creep above the freezing mark for many areas between 0 +1. You can see down to Backerel Point, 3 degrees on the plus side. But these were really late evening through the overnight hours. And then that temperature, as that wind picked up, swung around to a cooler wind direction, started to drop off. Also fueled these bands of more localized snow. I know we saw one towards the noon hour meander into the Halifax area, likely dealing with blowing snow, onshore flurries, even some light to moderate snow squall activity up into parts of Cape Breton as well. It's really not widespread snow, and a lot of this, for most areas, a lot of the flurry chance will diminish later this evening with that sky clearing overnight. But for those problem areas where the cold wind is coming in off relatively warm water, you do see those bands of flurries as still a possibility tonight. So we'll keep an eye on those two hot spots. Otherwise, it is where we're looking at snow on the ground and maybe some blowing snow that could be an issue for visibility tonight. I think the wind chill will have more folks talking come early tomorrow morning. So we will see the steadier pockets of snow continue to wind down over the next few hours. You can see that sky is mainly clear. There's a band of wind-driven snow, though. We can see into parts of Cape Breton. This may meander down into more southern parts of Cape Breton Island and even down towards Port Hawkesbury possible tonight. You could see a few onshore flurries. So we look to more eastern areas along the Northumberland shore as well as downwind of the bay. As we look into tomorrow morning, we can see fairly sunny conditions, aside from that little bit of a snow squall that this forecast model's picking up just coming through the valley there. But we will be watching for the clouds to increase late morning into the afternoon. And you can see becoming mainly cloudy to overcast with a slight flurry chance heading into the early evening hours, even into the Halifax area. We'll watch for some steadier snow to build in ahead of a warm front late into Wednesday night through early Thursday morning. And then as we get in towards the mid-morning, we see that warm front pushing north towards Prince Edward Island and Cape Breton, and that's where we start to see some mixing with rain from more southern areas. Not going to be a lot of snow, not going to be a lot of rain, but the timing into Thursday morning could make for a bit of a messy commute. As we look to Thursday night, that will begin to clear out, and then cooler air starts to build back in again with a brisk wind into Friday. Friday will be the transitional day as cooler temperatures start to arrive, but it's really Saturday and into Sunday. Wait till you see your forecast. Your temperatures will be quite cold, and overnight temperatures could even be, for some areas, inland areas, northern areas, even below minus 20. That's not wind chill. That could be the actual temperature. All right, let's take a look at what we can expect through the overnight hours tonight across the province. We do have fairly clear conditions. We'll say a partly cloudy to mainly clear sky for many areas. If you are up towards the Northumberland Strait, you could be seeing some onshore flurries, more so into Cape Breton, where those could be more light to moderate bands of snow. Not looking at heavy accumulation, but with that wind being very blustery, you could be looking at some blowing, some drifting snow conditions. That'll be a little bit worse for those areas where those bands of snow are lining up. And as we look to these temperatures, minus 10 into the Halifax area, late into the overnight hours, early into tomorrow morning, likely going to feel minus 15 to even near minus 20 for inland areas, factoring in that wind chill. Daytime highs tomorrow, little on the cool side. Keep in mind it will still be breezy, so there will still be a bit of a biting wind chill even into the afternoon. Clouds will increase with flurries arriving very late in the day on Wednesday. That snow transitions to rain as we look to Thursday, and then here's a look into the weekend. Yes, those are daytime highs, not wind chill values, and yeah, near minus 20 as we look to Saturday night into early Sunday.
That's cold. Okay, thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay. We're back after this. Nova Scotia Group is calling on Dalhousie University to release its agreements with the province for a natural gas exploration program. The Houston government announced the new $30 million program with Dal in late December. Jonathan Langdon is a member of the Nova Scotia Fracking Resource and Action Coalition. So what do you hope to learn from these agreements between the university and the province?
Well, I think, Amy, we're really interested in understanding what are the guardrails that are guiding this agreement. We don't really have any information about who's determining the questions, how independent Dalhousie University is in terms of engaging in this study, what are going to be the relationships between Dalhousie and some of the oil and gas exploration companies that are coming in, who will be reporting to whom, and also just why the timeline, why the rush.
Now, is it unusual for a university to be involved in this kind of process?
My sense is absolutely. I'm a professor at St. Francis Xavier University, and I don't know of any similar kind of arrangement where you have oil and gas exploration being essentially subcontracted to a university to run. Usually universities are engaged in arm's length research, gathering different points of view, pulling them together so that people can understand them. And then those are then handed over, and government is the one to engage with industry.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Provincial Energy Department said the contract between the government and Dal is still being finalized, and when it's complete, it would be shared publicly, although portions may need to be passed through access to information. What do you make of that?
Well, I certainly am happy to hear that they're going to share it with the public. That's certainly what we're asking for. But there's some contradictions. We're hearing out of one side that an agreement has been signed, and in another that it hasn't been finalized. I guess I just feel a little bit like we have a timeline that's been told to us that is a year. And we don't have any real information about this agreement. Why were these things not finalized before they were announced?
Well, what is your biggest concern about possible fracking?
Hydraulic fracturing is a well-known form of gas exploration and then production, and it has a huge amount of research that has shown the health dangers and risks around this, risks to climate in terms of adding greenhouse gas emissions, risks to water tables in terms of polluting our rural well system, risks to potential seismic activity. The list of risks is very long and very well known. In fact, we had a very significant study of this that was conducted in 2014 that reached the conclusion that this really needed to demonstrate that it wasn't going to have risks if we were going to go down this road. And that was the Wheeler Commission. And that led to a legislated ban on hydraulic fracturing in the province, which the provincial government removed last February without any public consultation, without any engagement with the science to see if there's been any change. And we certainly see that the science has not changed. In fact, it's even more clear that there are many, many risks associated with this form of production.
Well, what about the argument that Nova Scotia needs to secure more domestic energy given the strained relationship right now with the United States?
Oh, I think that's an absolutely valid point, and that's why I was very, very pleased to see that the provincial government, in collaboration with the federal government, did a significant study of offshore wind potential in this province. This is an area where they've gone out. They had a 22-month-long engagement with the public, with several different stakeholders to see what their concerns were. A long conversation about what to do, where to do it. What questions people had. And, to me, that would be a great place for us to be putting our eggs in terms of a sovereign energy production, rather than starting from scratch from a place where the public had a lot of questions in the past. The research indicates that this is not any safer than it was when the legislative ban was put in place, we simply don't know whether or not this will yield the kind of things that people think they might get if they do an exploration.
Is there any acceptable way, in your view, to extract onshore gas without fracking?
This is an interesting question. The Energy Ministry itself has said that hydraulic fracturing is the normal way in which this type of work has been done across North America. So I don't know that there may be some other ways to do it, but hydraulic fracturing would certainly be in the mix. And would be a significant part of whatever exploration and then production happens looking for gas in this province.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Amy.
Coming up, Prime Minister Mark Carney delivers a provocative speech at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland.
And Israeli forces bulldoze the vacant UN Palestinian Refugee Agency's headquarters in East Jerusalem. Welcome back. Prime Minister Mark Carney is making international headlines for what he said Tuesday in Davos, Switzerland.
It was a hard-hitting address to the World Economic Forum and a thinly veiled broadside against the U.S. The CBC's Ashley Burke has the details.
The Prime Minister delivering a provocative speech, declaring that the rules that have governed global affairs for decades are effectively dead.
The old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just.
Mark Carney telling business and political leaders in Davos that Canada has to accept a world where big powers are using economic might to coerce.
The middle powers must act together because if we're not at the table, we're on the menu.
Carney not naming the U.S., but sending a clear message, saying it's time to criticize economic intimidation, no matter what.
It means acting consistently, applying the same standards to allies and rivals.
The Prime Minister aligning himself with European allies during Donald Trump's latest economic threat against those resisting his bid to take over Greenland.
Canada strongly opposes tariffs over Greenland.
How are you? I'm fine.
Well, in Davos, Carney spoke with two key allies, Britain and France, countries on the front lines of Trump's latest tariff threat, after sending small contingents of troops to Greenland, viewed as a show of support.
Prefer respect to bullies. We do prefer science to plotism. And we do prefer rule of law to brutality.
The Foreign Affairs Minister asked if Canada will do the same to support sovereignty exercises the Danes are planning.
Regarding future deployments and future exercises, those are decisions that the Minister of National Defence makes together with the Chief of Defence Staff.
For all of his bluntness, Carney seemed to do everything to ensure that he didn't directly name Donald Trump in his speech. The U.S. president is expected to deliver his own address here on Wednesday, just as Carney is expected to leave. The Prime Minister's office says that so far there is no meeting scheduled between the two leaders. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Davos, Switzerland.
Many world leaders slammed Donald Trump's expansionist foreign policy at the World Economic Forum. Anna Cunningham has more on their reactions.
There is a united message coming from European leaders on Greenland as they really scramble to get their voices heard ahead of the arrival of US President Donald Trump in Davos Wednesday. Now, we've heard from the French President Emmanuel Macron. He's made clear that tariffs are unacceptable, especially when, he said, used as leverage against territorial sovereignty. Take a listen to some of what he said in Davos.
Not to totally forget what we learned from the Second World War and remain committed to cooperation. And this is also because of those principles that we have decided to join the mutual exercise in Greenland without threatening anyone, but just supporting an ally and another European country, Denmark.
Any European nation troops on exercise in Greenland are, he said, not threatening anyone. Clearly a message directed at President Trump. The Danish Defence Minister, we know, has already said that military exercises are to strengthen their ability to operate in the region, with Arctic security a priority. And the Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, has made her view clear. Speaking to the Danish Parliament earlier, she said, if anyone starts a trade war against us, we must respond. The European Union's Foreign Policy Chief, Kaja Kallas, speaking in Strasbourg, has echoed this. Take a listen.
Greenland belongs to its people. No threat or tariffs will change that. Sovereignty is not for trade. The European Union stands without doubt with Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark in defence of their territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Davos has already seen some protests ahead of the arrival of US President Donald Trump Wednesday. Just like Canada, Britain will be watching closely. Anna Cunningham, CBC News, London.
Despite the chorus of international leaders speaking out Tuesday against the U.S. threats against Greenland, President Donald Trump later made it clear he's not backing down during a White House press briefing.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
Later in the news conference, Trump said he has many meetings scheduled with world leaders in Davos, which he leaves for tonight. But earlier, Trump had posted 2 images to his social media site, one showing an AI image of the president planting an American flag on Greenland, with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio behind him. Another shows a doctored image of European leaders meeting with Trump in the Oval Office, with a map in the background showing Venezuela, Greenland, and Canada covered by a U.S. flag.
Israel has torn down buildings that had housed United Nations offices in East Jerusalem. Staff at the UN Palestinian Refugee Agency had to vacate the structures last year after Israel ordered them out. The CBC's Sasha Petrusik has the details from the site.
The bulldozers arrived early this morning, escorted by Israeli police, and they started to destroy the UNRWA compound. That is the main UN agency that takes care of Palestinian refugees anywhere in this region. Israel has maintained that UNRWA, this agency in particular, has been infiltrated by Hamas, that many of the people who were involved in the attack on October 7th in fact, were UNRWA employees. So the UN did investigate. It got rid of some 9 employees, but the rest continued to work. It continued to try to do its work. But since last year, Israel passed laws which effectively made it impossible for UNRWA to continue, and this was the result. Now, the UN insists that this territory is protected under international law. Israel does not see it that way. And one of the people watching this morning, watching this demolition, was a cabinet minister from Israel who's been pushing this exact strategy against the UN to get the UN out of here, Itamar Ben-Gvir. This is what he had to say.
והיום תומכי הטרור האלה מסולקים מכאן עם כל מה שהם בנו כאן. גם לכל מי שתומך טרור בירושלים.
Now, the head of UNRWA, who has been fighting to keep this building up and to keep the agency operating, he said this was a new level of open and deliberate defiance of international law. Israel insists that this land belongs to it, that legally the agency has been kicked out. Over the past while, it has in fact cut off relations with 33 UN agencies, 33 other international agencies, including NGOs, accusing all of them of being too sympathetic of Hamas and effectively making it very difficult for them to operate, especially in Gaza, but it's also affecting Palestinians here in East Jerusalem as well. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News in East Jerusalem.
Authorities have identified the Canadian tourist who was found dead on an Australian beach on Monday. Piper James was from Campbell River, BC. 2 men discovered the 19-year-old's bodies surrounded by a pack of dingoes. Police have not yet determined whether James drowned or died in an attack by the wild dogs. James had reportedly told friends she was going for a swim. A post-mortem is scheduled for Wednesday.
Some individuals who rely on service dogs are upset with Uber. They told our Go Public team some of the rideshare's drivers won't allow the animals in their cars, even though that's against the law. The CBC's Sophia Harris looks at their experiences and the company's response.
Good boy. Let's go. Salome Solomon is legally blind, so she relies on 2 things to get around: her guide dog Zurich and Canada's dominant rideshare service, Uber.
You don't want to take me in? Yep. Okay, I'm going to send this video to Uber.
But Solomon says she's routinely turned away by Uber drivers who won't let Zurich in their car.
Why? It's a service dog. Every rejection breaks you down. So, for me, it basically hits deep, like it's like a dagger to my heart. Straight up.
In Canada, people with disabilities have a legal right to travel with a service animal, which Uber acknowledges in its own policy. But several riders told CBC's Go Public Uber drivers sometimes reject them.
You feel like a failure somehow, and somehow it's my fault because I'm
disabled and I'm not good enough to be treated like everyone else.
James Wilkinson's service dog Bo helps him cope with his autism.
Up, up.
On the day CBC interviewed him, one Uber driver picked him up, but a second canceled his ride home.
You were walking across the street and the car drove away?
Yeah, it's happened so many times that it's just, well, there goes another one.
This disability advocate says inaccessible transport is a systemic problem in Canada, and Uber needs to do better.
Imagine the indignity of being told that your needs are not valid. We need people to be driving who are open and understanding of their obligations, fundamentally.
You can't deny me access.
We showed Solomon's videos to Uber.
It's humiliating, it's painful, and it's completely unacceptable. The only acceptable ride refusal number is 0. And that's the number that we're working to get to.
Uber says it has taken concrete action to combat the problem, like driver education, enhanced technology, and banning drivers who break the rules. But the company admits its work isn't done because some riders are still being left at the curb. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Vancouver.
Looks like the party's over for the craft beer industry, and not just because of dry January. Sales have been falling for a while, and the number of Canadian breweries is declining. CBC's Paulo Dehacek reports.
This beer maker says in his industry, change is brewing.
We've seen it across the board, whether it's changing in drinking styles or just where the economy's at. We're definitely, sales are down.
In a 5-year period, the number of breweries in Canada climbed to more than 1,100, but that number has flattened and last year shrank by nearly 3%, according to this analyst.
Seeing an end to that growth in and of itself is significant. The growth phase of the industry is over.
Some say it was bound to happen eventually.
For years and years, we saw this massive expansion that happened really, really quickly within the industry. And with that came a lot of new entrants, and not a lot of whom had really long-term business models.
Tastes and habits are also changing. Beer Canada says sales across the industry are down, and it says younger generations aren't drinking the way their parents did.
I know anecdotally a lot of the people that I knew actually stopped drinking altogether, including myself.
This former brewery owner is back to working in finance after closing his doors in 2025. He says the decision was driven by a combination of factors: bad timing, funding challenges, and a change in their core customer.
We just had to cut our losses and unfortunately learn from it and move on.
What COVID did, I think, is changed people's entertainment habits. And so what it's meant for breweries is they've had to work much harder to get bums in chairs.
He says breweries are still finding success by learning to branch out.
Obviously, when we see the customer's taste change, that's like a big one for us and number one. So, we had to reevaluate what products we're making, what beers are going out the door.
These days, one of his top sellers isn't a beer at all. It's a craft iced tea. Paula Duhacek, CBC News, Calgary.
The S&P 500 index fell more than 2% today amid geopolitical tensions and the U.S. tariff threats, while U.S. markets also fell. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to break.
This weather update is brought to you in part by Atlantic Lottery's iGames. Play hundreds of games on the Atlantic Lottery app or at alc.ca.
She's back with us now, and when the temperatures drop in Nova Scotia, they can really drop big time, can't
Definitely dig out the long johns.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a roller coaster over the last few days, and that will continue. I don't know if you saw, but Thursday, 3 or 4 degrees onto the plus side, and then that hard turn back into Friday ahead of even chillier temperatures Saturday and Sunday. Weather whiplash, I think, will be the theme over the next few days. As we take a look over the next few hours, we will continue to watch those onshore flurries across mainland Nova Scotia, generally winding down. They persist up into Cape Breton, though, as we look to that even stronger wind for northern areas coming in from that west to northwesterly direction. As we look to your Wednesday morning, starting out fairly sunny across most of Nova Scotia. See a few flurries creeping into the South Shore area, Yarmouth up to Digby. Watch for those flurries, maybe pushing in by late afternoon, just bordering onto the HRM up into the hub towards Truro. And then as we look later into the day, those clouds continue to increase, and we start to see that steadier precipitation. This will be some very light snow transitioning to rain Wednesday night through Thursday as that warm front will be kicking in. So let's take a look at your day planner, what you can expect to start the day tomorrow. With that westerly wind, 15 to 30, coastal areas, exposed areas, gusts upwards of 40, near 50 kilometers per hour. Minus 10 is going to feel minus 15 to near minus 20 if you are looking at stronger winds at that time. So we'll be a biting wind chill to start the day. We'll watch for the clouds to begin to increase to a mix of sun and cloud with some cloudy periods developing by early afternoon. Minus 5 with that west wind, 20 gusting to 40K. Will feel much colder, though. Clouds continue to build. Slight flurry chance by late afternoon. Likely going to hold off until the evening hours, and that temperature will be ticking up late afternoon, possibly into the evening as well, just as that warm front is starting to move in with that snow changing to rain into Thursday. That's a warmer day before the big chill arrives Friday and into the weekend.
Keep an eye for
Hang
that.
on to your hats.
Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Experts say the constant freeze and thaw cycles the region is experiencing this winter isn't good for beehives.
While beekeepers say they prepare for temperature changes, this season has the potential to be worse than usual. The CBC.
The weather has been inconsistent this winter, and that has provincial apiarist Cameron Menzies worried about what the island's bee population will look like in the spring. Menzies says about 6,000 beehives were put up heading into the fall and winter. While he says beekeepers prepare hives to buffer against the freeze-thaw cycles, the loss of some bees is normal, but this winter has the potential to be worse than usual.
When we get a period of warm weather and then it snaps cold after, that is usually pretty bad for the bees because they start to get more energetic. They're using some of their winter stores, and then all of a sudden it gets very cold again, and then that can shock them.
Judy Wells has taken part in some beekeeping workshops on the island. She has a hive and is worried about what her bees' health will be like come spring.
I'm itching for spring to come so I can open up, and it takes a lot to not go peek and look, but I also don't want to disturb them because I'm concerned that's going to kind of do more harm. So I'm super eager for spring to come so I can get in there and see how they're doing.
The health of the province's bees is critical for lots of agricultural operations on the island, including flower producers.
I have at times felt like maybe there's not as many bees around the lavender as there were in the first few years when I started.
Menzies says last year's winter was one of the best on record when it came to colony mortality. Despite his concerns about this winter's weather, he remains hopeful that many of the bees will survive. Taylor O'Brien, CBC News, Summerside.
Well, you may not think about those individuals who stand at busy intersections wearing yellow vests, but crossing guards play an important role in keeping people safe. And now, 3 Canadians have been recognized for their contribution.
They are winners of a contest held by a national charity dedicated to injury prevention. One of them, Kevin Enriquez, who works in Toronto, was honored at a special ceremony today.
It's been really great. The community is so nice and supportive, and yeah, they're very welcoming. I kind of do it, and people are always like so thankful, and I'm super appreciative.
Enriquez was celebrated for his calm, friendly demeanor and for educating kids about the importance of safety at intersections.
In addition to working as a crossing guard, he helps create arts programs and Filipino theater productions.
Congratulations.
Talented guy.
Yep.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.